Hi, this is Aaron at Bad Habit Brewing Company. You're listening to Justin at Your Story Matters.
All right, welcome everybody to the Your Story Matters podcast. Today I'm with a couple very special guests, the Bad Habit Brewing Company crew. So when we go around, you guys can introduce yourself.
I'm Eric.
Aaron, thanks Justin for having us on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So Bad Habit Brewing Company, how did the name Bad Habit come about?
Well, we just tossed around probably about 20 different names, and we were sitting around one night having some drinks, and somebody threw out Bad Habit, and kind of all stopped what we were doing and looked at each other and we're like, man, that's got to be the name. It kind of fits into our bad habit of a lot of home brewing in the garage, and it just sounds cool too. It's a cool name.
And you started home brewing in 2001, didn't you?
Yep, 2001. Home brewed a little bit, and then took probably about a 10-year break, and then fired it up in 2011, 2012 again, and started brewing very often at home in the garage. So, and it got to be maybe that's where it became the bad habit of home brewing 2 or 3 times a month in the garage. So it kind of took over our basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. I started a little bit later, about 2009, with ciders and wines. And I guess the worst habit I had was collecting bottles and filling up the basement with empty beer bottles. I'd take the labels off and clean them up. And that was a huge pain in the butt, and it's nice to finally be done collecting those bottles and being able to store some more important things in the basement.
Mm-hmm. What was the first beer that you guys ever came out with at Bad Habit here?
Probably the longest running one the first beer we ever brewed here was October 3rd of 2015 was Dark Addiction. So it's the first one we ever did here, and then we did IPA right after that, and then a blonde ale. So those were our first 3 that went into fermenters. So, but probably the one I've brewed the most of all time is Dark Addiction.
Dark Addiction?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yep.
My favorites.
Yeah.
Is that probably the longest lasting recipe and it hasn't changed really?
No, that one
from day one.
Yeah, I think in almost 3 years here, we've run out of it twice over a weekend, but then it's been back on the following weekend. So, but it's always been on the board.
Okay. So one thing that I notice a lot with Bad Habit is that you guys have a really good connection with the community. Do a lot in the community. What do you think it is that kind of connects you to the local area?
I think we're both social people. We have both have good groups of friends, and we like to get out and do things rather than just sitting here all day, which is also a good time. But I think just being that type of person to want to get out and do things around the neighborhood and to improve our community, that gets us going.
Yeah, I think I'm going on what Eric said. I think it's 100% important for local businesses to be involved in the community, support, whether it's charities or nonprofit, aspects of the community that help the community flow and run. I think it's important for Bad Habit to be involved in that stuff, and I think we're lucky enough fortunate enough to be able to give some back. That's what keeps people coming here. I think the local support, community, the neighbors. I mean, we want to be a good business that's involved with the local community.
Okay, you guys just did was it Good Does Bad or Bad Does Good?
Yep.
Bad does good.
Oh, it could be good, does bad. Who knows? Maybe that'll be next year.
Yeah. So what was the Bad Does Good event? What was it?
Yeah, so it's something we came up with here a couple years ago, and we're going to try and start doing more of those events. We did a couple last year. We did one this year so far. This is the second time we've done this one. We do like a little neighborhood cleanup. So we kind of throw it out to our Bad Habit family and just have people register online. They get a T-shirt. They get a beer when we come back. But we just go like a 3-block radius and we just do a little neighborhood cleanup. So pick up garbage, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, want to do more of that throughout the year. We just have to find fun events to sponsor.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, that's really cool. So when you guys started the brewery, did you just go all in and start doing it full time, or were you still working at other jobs when it started?
I was the only person here to full time when we first opened up.
Oh, okay.
And then Aaron was, well, you were here about full time, but he also had another full time job, so he was 2 full times. But I was pretty much the only full time employee here right away.
Okay. Yeah. I did both jobs for about 6 months, and then it just became apparent that it was going to be needed here and at home for sure. Probably more at home than anything else, but just became apparent that there needed to be 2 full-time people here.
And then it wasn't too long after that we hired a third to help brew and keep up with that. And then not too long ago, we hired a 4th full-time person.
Yep.
So there's 4 of us here now full-time.
Nice.
Yeah, and we have 8 part-time people that help out with taproom help and pouring beer and helping out at events and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So was it like really nerve-wracking, like leaving your full-time job to pursue this, like the full-time, or even just starting the brewery? I can imagine would be.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it seems like it's so long ago now. It's 3 years ago, but I think it was nerve-wracking. I think the probably the time that I was the most nervous was the day after we brewed our first couple beers, or the few days, because I think at that point you're building out the space. It looks nice, but then I think once you make the beer and reality sets in a little bit, and you're kind of like, okay, this place looks nice, but what if the beer's not great? What if people come for opening weekend and nobody ever comes back? So I think that month, maybe the month of October of 2015 was, it's kind of a blur to me, but that was probably the most nerve-wracking month, just, figuring out whether or not this was going to work. So, there it was kind of, after that month, it was, some growing pains, but it's been kind of a breeze since then.
Okay.
So.
Eric, did you ever have a moment where you were, like, your nerve-wracking moment or anything like that?
Probably the same, I think, is, that's the most important thing, is putting out a good product. But mostly I've just been excited. It's kind of a dream come true. There's wonderful people here. It's a lot of fun. So most of the time I'm just excited, and we keep kind of doing more, and every step is exciting. But I haven't been probably as nervous as Aaron, who has more into it than I do. But I would say that is the one time I do get nervous is, will people like the beer that we have? Will I think that can, I don't know, that's what drives the business.
Right. Yeah, and I think after we, Eric and I handled the beer pretty well for a year and change, and I think once we hired Eric on Sell Me, he's brought some new beer styles. We're always constantly striving to make sure the quality of our beer is better, and fine-tuning our techniques and using different kinds of ingredients and hops and yeast. And I think we took for granted the importance of yeast in a beer and the kind of character and flavor it can bring out. So it's been good to have another set of eyes and ears here helping out with the beer. And we're lucky enough to add Mo in September last year, so he brings a whole different set of skills with marketing and advertising and his creativity. So no, I don't know, I think obviously there's times where we get a little nervous maybe with our beer supply, or I always get a little anxious around big events, just that the weather cooperates and we have enough beer and people show up. But no, I think some of that nervousness is behind me for right now. So
okay. Yeah, I've noticed you always have like a wide variety of beers, and you're always kind of mixing it up a little bit, which I don't see a whole lot of other breweries doing. But I kind of feel like you guys have a little, like, something for everyone. Like, if somebody's big into IPAs, you got a couple IPA options going right now. Dark beers, light beers. You guys have been messing around with some fruit type beers too, as well.
I think that definitely that's where we differ. Is we're not looking at it to mass produce a certain beer. We're looking to produce a good variety of beers with different flavors and like you said, something for everybody. And I don't see a whole lot of breweries doing it that way, but rather than having 2 big tanks, we have 4 little tanks. And maybe if you don't like one of our, like this type A, then we have different options for you. So we can accommodate a wider variety of people. There's still a lot that we can't do. Our license only allows us to make alcohol with grains, so we can't do wines, we can't do ciders, but we explore as much as we can with fruits and vegetables and flavors and spices. So.
Yeah, and I think from the day we started or talked about the business, our business plan was never to be a regional brewery. We want to be more of a centralized or localized brewery, and that means smaller batch sizes, cranking out different kinds of beers, and that really allows us the opportunity to do different varieties of beers when we're only doing 150 gallon batches. It helps us to grow our business, but then also we can crank out different beers. And a big part of our business too is we try and watch what the industry is doing and what's happening on the East Coast and the West Coast, and see what's popular and what isn't popular, and try and follow some of what everybody else is doing. But we've realized though that we are in central Minnesota, Stearns County, and some beers may not go over here like everywhere else. So we have to. You still got to brew what sells, but yeah, we like to keep a full tap menu, and adding 3 more tanks here in the next month should help us to continue to have 8 to 12 beers on tap every weekend, and hopefully some new beer styles, and, just keep people coming back.
Yeah, because aren't you guys busting out a wall? Is that what it was?
We move some of the bar, and unfortunately it's going to take up some of our taproom space, but in the place that we're at right now, we don't have a lot of options to expand up or sideways. We're kind of contained in this little area for now, so it's going to take away floor space for people to stand and drink, but we need to make more beer, so
yeah, it's going to grow internally, I guess, is what we're doing. But
right.
The nice thing is we're kind of growing it in the time of the year when we have the patio. So it'll be nice to be able to lose. We're going to lose about 30 square feet. And it doesn't sound like much, but it really isn't too bad of a loss in space. But hopefully more beer means more varieties, and we have the patio to kind of accommodate some of the overflow of people. So.
What would you say has been like your favorite part of the whole journey throughout your time with Bad Habit and whatnot?
That's a good question. I think maybe for me is establishing new friendships, and that's not only internally a Bad Habit. I mean, I've considered these guys I work with best friends. We're, most of the time probably see them more than I see my own family. So, so I think that's a huge part of the best part for me. But I think just making new friendships for our customers that come in. Man, I've met 1,000 people over the last couple of years. I remember everybody's name, but I'm pretty good with faces when they come in. And, we see them outside of business hours. Pretty much can go anywhere in St. Cloud and run into somebody that comes in here and start up a small conversation with them. So, but it's been fun. And it's been fun learning how the business works and how it flows, and the beer's pretty cool too. So.
I absolutely agree with Aaron. The friendships are invaluable. But to mention something else, another one of my favorite things, and it's so cool. Like when you think of craft brewing, what is it about? It's experimenting and trying new things and being really creative, and that's something that we can do here. That I hear a lot of my brewer friends that work at other beer companies that are much bigger. They don't get to do that. They building the bigger quantities, and they don't have the freedom like we do here to do whatever we want to do and experiment and try new things. And I think that is so exciting and so much fun. We're so lucky to be able to do that here. That's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
Okay. And I think did I see on Facebook that you guys are experimenting with the old fruit stripe?
Fruit stripes?
Yeah.
The series of fruit stripes, yes. We're doing a new twist on it. We're going to do a tangerine version of the fruit stripes.
Yeah, we're going to try and switch that one up as much as we can. Just fun with a kettle sour like that. The raspberry one was pretty popular, so let's try a tangerine. And got a couple other fruits we're going to experiment with as soon as we get some more tanks. So hopefully do a little bit of that more often. So it'd be fun to do a fruit stripe flight maybe someday.
Mm-hmm.
4 different kinds of fruited sours on there. Would be pretty cool. So.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then normally what I like to ask people on there is just some advice that you'd give to anybody listening, just your best piece of advice.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You're supposed to warn us with these questions before we do these. Like, come up with
like
something.
this.
Catch you off guard. Favorite quote or...
Boy, I don't know. I think starting a business over the last 3 years here, watching it grow, and there's been plenty of mistakes we've made. I'm never going to say that this has been flawless by any means. We've had some growing pains, some stuff that we've done where I wish we could have taken it back. But I think, it's good for you to learn to. If you're going to start a business, it should never be flawless. But I do truly think that if you're going to, if I ever had to start a business again, or anybody's looking at doing it, I think you really, really do have to surround yourself with good people. I mean, that's what, that's what drives this business. It's the people that work here, the people that are involved in this but don't necessarily work here, kind of on the back end. But we have such a cool partnership group here, of people that have come from different walks of life, have different talents that I think just the combination of all of us coming together has produced a pretty cool business here. So, but going back to where I was going with this is, I think you have to surround yourself with good people, and and that's in the business, that's at home, that's family. I'm pretty lucky at that my wife Karen agreed to let me try this, and she's the backbone of our house. She takes care of the schedules with the kids, and grocery shopping and house cleaning and laundry, and she carries the health insurance. That's pretty big too. So, but that's, I don't know, it's the best advice I can give you.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
My advice, I guess, would be to be kind and humble. The moment that you think that you're better than everybody else, you soon after learn that you're probably not. And like Aaron said, there's going to be flaws and mistakes. And I don't know, it's important to be kind to others and not think that you're the best thing out there or you have the greatest product, because you don't. Especially like in our business, who's to say that this beer is better than that beer? It's just, I think the most important thing for us is just to try to do the best we can and be as kind and nice to everybody that comes in here and does business with us. That's my advice.
All right. Cool. And then, like, what hours can people, if they wanted to come visit Bad Habit, when would they be able to venture over here, and where could they find you guys?
Sure. So we're right downtown St. Joe, located in the Millstream Shops building, right down from Bello Cucina. Hours-wise, we're Wednesday, Thursday, 4 to 10, Fridays, 3 to 11, Saturdays, 1 to 11, and Sundays, 1 to 7. And then periodically open on holidays, but we normally post that on our Facebook page when we are open for 4th of July or extended hours for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is. So, come check out St. Joe. We love being downtown. It's a cool little city. It's growing. Lots of new stuff happening. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for letting me come and hang out for the afternoon. And
Thank you.
Absolutely.
talk with you guys for a little bit about the great establishment you got going here. So,
Thank you very much,
thank you.
Justin.
yeah, thanks, guys.